Hello and welcome to the Punters Guide. It's a great weekend of racing, especially up at Ayr with the Ayr Gold Cup and some great races at Newbury. And I'm delighted to be joined by ITV's Jason Weaver. Jason, hope you're well. Let's crack on and start at Ayr with the 155, this Doonside Cup Stakes.
Yeah, not a bad little turnout for this when you go up regarding the top-rated runners, Mark. The likes of Yukon Glen, who's been in fantastic form. Brigadier Gerard win earlier in the year. Juan Alcano, he managed to win the Wolferton at Royal Ascot. It's a real good turnout. When you work your way down, I couldn't see a lot of pace in here. And May Danny, who always comes with that big sort of ticket, if you like, because he's by Dubawi, out of attraction. He's had limited tries over the trip. He looks like he's the natural pace in the lineup, and just maybe the old wizard that is Joe Fanning up on the front end could get away and get the meeting off to a flyer for that proud Scotsman, Mark Johnson.
At 2:30, one of the big races of the day, the Ayr Silver Cup.
Yeah, I mean, we're sort of... I'm going to latch onto a couple of runners in here. One who I feel is bringing in very solid form, and one that's sort of flying under the radar. And they're either side of the track. I think sometimes you've got to attack a race like this at the start of the meeting. One drawn low, one drawn high. You're going to have horses like Bergerac, who's on the improve. Staxton's a bit of an old favourite in here. But I thought Total Commitment. Now, Simon Hodgson doesn't have a big string. He took over from Peter Hedger, and he's done really, really well. Now, this lad has been mainly campaigned on the all-weather, but he's super consistent, ran an absolute cracker in the Stewards' Cup when he was just back in third, and he stays 7 furlongs. So he's a runner who's drawn up towards the high side. He's also a bit of an each-way price. And Kevin Ryan's got a real strong hand in here. But one young 3-year-old, Uncle Jumbo, he's actually related to a good horse that they train called Major Jumbo. Real solid in these type of races. Just feel he's not at his ceiling yet. He ran a cracker in the Weatherby's 2-year-old trophy at Doncaster, the big sales race. And then he's been a bit hit and miss, but they obviously feel he's well handicapped. He's up around about 33-40 to 1. They backed him off the boards on his first 3 runs this season. Gone missing a little bit last time in the headgear. That comes off. Just think that Uncle Jumbo drawn low is the wrong price. And towards the high numbers, Total Commitment at an each-way shout.
And for each-way backers, 6 places each way on the Ayr Silver Cup. The Firth of Clyde Filly Stakes goes off at 3:05.
Yeah, a little bit of a lottery, isn't it? You know, the young juvenile fillies, whether they're improving at this time of year or they've gone in their coat and starting to just grow and change a little bit. You'll notice when you look at the 2-year-olds in the paddock, anything that's slightly downhill when you're watching them, i.e. the back end is lower than the front, they've got a lot of catching up to do and growing. And that's where you'll see the weakness come into them. One of these fillies that's absolutely set, and they've been pretty busy with her, is Crazyland for Clive Cox and Hector Crouch. She was ridden really patiently at Salisbury last time, stayed on strongly up towards the line and hit it very strongly. So the stiffer 6 furlongs at Ayr is definitely going to suit her. She's been highly tried, as I mentioned, and she's just got an experience edge. Red hot favourite's going to be Head Mistress, who comes over for Jer Lyons. She did look really good when winning at the Curragh last time over the minimum, and may well appreciate the 6. But she's going to be short, and they did have an entry in the Cheveley Park, which is next week. I can't imagine her running here and going on to the Cheveley Park. So I think they've gone for the easier option because they know that maybe that race wasn't the strongest at the Curragh. That's the way I'm reading it. And I think Crazyland will give you a good run for your money.
One of the big betting heats we all love, the Ayr Gold Cup at 3:40. How do you solve this puzzle?
It's a cracker, isn't it? And, horses like Great Ambassador are going to be top of the market. He's improving. He's done little wrong. I just think, you've got a horse coming through. He's going to have to win off 106. I know you've got Summergan, who is top weight. I think you've got to go back a long way to the likes of a Coastal Bluff and Jimmy Fortune for horses that were lumping big weights. Also remember, in COVID times, £3 allowance for the back pad, £3 allowance for the jockeys. So 9 stone 9, you've got to add another £6 on top of that. That's exactly what he'd be carrying coming up the straight 6 furlongs are there. Horse I've followed all year, cost me a fortune. I'm hoping he can do us a favour, is Ostilio for the Paul Midgley team down the bottom. He wasn't given a particularly inspired ride last time in the Beverley Bullet, dropped in after a fairly sluggish start. He's dangerously well handicapped. I had a quick word with Paul at Doncaster. I said, look, I think you've got him that well handicapped. He's going to end up running in the Silver Cup, never mind the Ayr Gold Cup. And he was sort of crossing his fingers. He slotted in at the bottom of the handicap. He literally got in by the skin of his teeth. He's a big each way price, well handicapped on his best, won't mind the ground. And I think drawn high numbers will suit because he's got the likes of Just Frank, who's a guaranteed front runner, drawn real close to him.
That is the 340, the Ayr Gold Cup, where we're 6 places each way. Quality card at Newbury as well. 4 races live on ITV. The feature race is a Mill Reef Stakes, but we start with the Dubai International Airport World Trophy Stakes, which is a Group 3 at 2:15, Jason.
Yeah, some old favourites again. Cardem was allowed an easy time at Doncaster in the Scarborough. King's Lynn, very good juvenile. Only saw him on a couple of times as a 3-year-old, and he's not done bad this year. And you got Significantly himself a Royal Ascot winner, and then he won the Betfred Heritage Handicap. He was in sparkling form on that occasion. I just wonder, he's gone missing a little bit since. I love the Portland Handicap at Doncaster. Hurricane Ivor was a good winner. He's travelled across from France, and he's definitely taken his form to another level for the new trainer. He's been a little bit unlucky, and I just feel that once or twice the draw hasn't quite gone for him. But a small field, no excuses, stepping up out of handicap company. Hurricane Ivor would be the win bet for me. There is a bit of a rick in here, though. Mackinac, who goes for Julie Camacho, has had the wind operation. He's got very, very good sprint form. I think it's no mistake that the Northern team bring him down to turn up here. He's up around about 20, 25 to 1. If we get the dead 8, and if the likes of Hurricane Ivor and Cardem are far too short, I think he's an each-way play. Mackinac, big price.
The 250 is the Dubai Duty Free Legacy Cup Stakes. Another Group 3.
Yeah, this is probably the cornerstone of many an accumulator on the afternoon, I would imagine. Al-Asi, however you want to say it. He's been nothing short of spectacular. The John Porter win in the Ashton Park around here, absolutely rock solid. What he doesn't do is find a great deal off the bridle, and that happened in the Coronation. It also happened in the Princess of Wales. When he came up short, he got beaten neck on both occasions. Back down to the mile and 3. He'll jump, he'll travel. He'll be all, I can imagine him just cantering into contention at the quarter mile pole and going on to win. I look at the others. Fox's Tails has done well this year. Illa Rab, they're going for the cheap pieces. Solid Stone, he's had 20-something races. Had a good year at Windsor in the listed and the Group 3 Winter Hill. But in all honesty, it'd be hard pushed to anything to come up to Al-Asi's form.
The 325 is the Dubai Duty Free Handicap Stakes.
Yeah, we've got a recent York winner in here, and he's going to be a massive player. I think he's going to be overbet, if I'm being honest. Aramac, who goes for William Haggis and Tom Marquand. Now, he's a great big horse, and I told you about horses that are still improving. He's going to be a much better 4-year-old. I don't think that this year we're going to see him at his ceiling rating. And he's just starting to change and grow. Big, heavy horse, hits the ground hard. Admittedly, they might have had a little bit of ease in the ground at Newbury, so it should suit him. But I just think he's going to be overbet, basically, because it wasn't the strongest race that he managed to win last time. Sam Cooke is off the back of a win. Dewan, they reached for the visor. And then you've got Injazati, who goes for Charlie Fellows. Watched that back at Newcastle last time. He looks really, really slow. Just one of those, a one-pace grinder. The only horse I can find in here that I think is the wrong sort of price and has an improving profile, John and Thady Gosden, keep King Leonardis in here. He's been on the track on 3 occasions. He's a 4-year-old. He's by Kingman. He's bred to be a champion. He looked really, really good before he bombed out in group company last time. Surely they wouldn't have kept him going if he didn't have some ability. 465 days away from the track, but the yard normally don't want for fitness. So we'll go for the Gosden runner with James Doyle booked.
And the final race on ITV from Newbury is the Dubai Duty Free Mill Reef Stakes.
This is an absolute cracker, isn't it? When you look, Dabab, obviously the form behind Native Trail, he looked really good at Leicester. He then went to Royal Ascot and was disappointing, punted. He goes to Newmarket. He hit the front. He disappointed. He's punted. He's going to be a red-hot favourite. For all the world, I think he wants further. He comes back down in distance under a pretty speedy track, Newbury. When you've got good horses anyway, they just don't come back. Fearby, the Northern Raider. Ed Bethel has had a brilliant season. I thought he ran a cracker when stepped up in trip last time at York. He's got experience on his side. PJ McDonald comes down for the ride. Dabab is going to be punted off the boards. Robert Havlin steps in for the ride because Frankie Dettori's over in America. So I have to say that Fearby, I think he can come and spoil the party and burn a few fingers yet again with a horse who's always punted off the board. So the Northern Raider for me.
And what's the idea of the best bet on Saturday then, Jason?
I think, Mark, we've got to go in the big one, the Ayr Gold Cup. Everybody loves to get stuck into a real big handicap. Ostilio, just have a little look back at some of his runs. Please look back at the run in the Beverley Bullet. Stayed on, tender handling. He's slotted in the bottom of the handicap. I think Paul Midgley has played it to an absolute nicety for the big pot.
And I hope you'll be playing goals galore as well, Jason.
Absolutely. Listen, couple of kicks. All I need is for the weather to go really bad for half time. I could turn it on the radio, listen to them going in. Just the usual 8 teams, long list, about 4 of them. Love my shopping list.
Jason, look forward to seeing you on ITV tomorrow, and thanks ever so much for joining us.